Hey everyone, my name is Brittany. I am logging my stage 4 cancer journey, and part of that journey is therapy. And I haven't really talked much about it on camera in the past year or so, but if you are a cancer patient or if you are taking care of somebody that has cancer, like therapy is a big deal. And I was in therapy for a year, and then about 4 or 5 months ago now, time goes by really fast. My therapist switched out of network, and I kind of stopped going to therapy, and I was like making all of this progress, and I probably shouldn't have stopped going to therapy, but I did. And I have noticed the impact that it has had, like stopping going to therapy. So I've just been experiencing a lot of like anxiety lately and a little bit of depression. I think they go hand in hand together, and I kind of embarrassed to talk a little bit about it. But I'm trying to be open about things and just, yeah. But anyways, so I thought going off of my targeted therapy was gonna, make me feel really all better and everything like that, which has made me feel a lot better than before. But it's also brought on more anxiety because I'm just on hormone therapy for my treatment right now. And I am in my head just like overthinking like if I'm making the right decision or if it was too risky to make this decision, or just there's a lot going on in my head, and I'm like scared that the cancer is going to start spreading in my body because I stopped like half of my treatment. And so anyways, a lot of anxiety has been brought up. So I've decided to start going back to therapy. And I really made the decision to go back to therapy because I found myself in this position where I'm not being very like productive with my time because I'm resting a lot and I'm sleeping a lot. And I know that's what you're supposed to do, right? Is rest. But there's a certain point where you're like, am I resting so much because I'm tired, or am I resting so much because I'm depressed? And I don't know. And it's one of these things that like I haven't been telling or talking about it to anybody because I feel embarrassed. I don't know why. Like I'm normally so open about mental health. Like I have a master's degree in counseling, and I'm normally so open about everything, but I've been feeling like ashamed, I guess, to talk about it, or embarrassed to talk about it. And I'm just not telling anybody. I think I told my best friend, and then this past Thursday, I like briefly mentioned it to my life group, which is like a group through my church that I um kind of like talk things. Wait, what am I saying? I'm losing track of what I'm saying. I'm sorry. There's a life group through my church that I meet with every Thursday, a group of ladies. They're amazing. I love them. They're awesome. Anyways, and I briefly mentioned to them, but other than that, I haven't told anybody. I haven't been talking about it to anybody, but and it's weird because it's like I'm super functioning, like I'm super high functioning. But anyways, that's the reason why I decided to go back to therapy, is because I've been noticing I'm having like depression symptoms. It's not so much the thoughts, it's more somatic for me. And it's hard to tell if I'm experiencing these things because of just being in a busy season at work, or if it's because like I actually have depression. I don't really know. And with mental health, that's one of those things, is like I experience a lot of things like somatically, not necessarily like all of these negative thoughts in my head or like anything like that. And so I really have to listen to my body. But it's really hard when you're like on cancer treatment and you're having side effects that could make you fatigued, that could make you tired. But then you're feeling really fatigued and tired and you're sleeping all the time, but this is like completely abnormal. Like this is an abnormal amount of sleeping in comparison to even what I was doing when I was on targeted therapy on the Kisqali. Not so much the Ibrance. The Ibrance made me like really in bed, but the Kisqali, yeah. So that's how I know how things are a little bit different. But I had an intake with the psychiatry department through my health insurance, and they're like, yeah, like you're scoring for anxiety and depression. And I was like I knew, and that's why I reached out for a new therapist. But I think just hearing it kind of like pushed me back a little bit because I made so much progress like in therapy prior. And so I almost felt kind of like disappointed in myself that I stopped therapy and not ruined all of the progress, because the majority of my therapy work that I was doing was through my PTSD that I had. And I don't really experience my PTSD symptoms anymore. But anyways, I felt kind of like I ruined some of my progress that I had done in therapy. So I felt a little disappointed in myself. But other than that, they're going to help me find a therapist. So I have a meeting on Tuesday with my therapist, or going to be therapist. I'm not sure. Or the person is supposed to match me with a therapist. I don't know. But I have a meeting on Tuesday, and I'm hoping that it goes well. That way I can hurry up and get back into therapy, because having like anxiety and depression, and I'm trying to say it out loud just so I don't feel so like embarrassed or like ashamed about it. Just like the more we talk about it, the better you feel. And anyways, so hopefully the therapist could help some of my symptoms and I can get back to exercising again, because that's what I really want to do. I really want to start walking again and exercising and doing yoga and all of these things and getting back in shape. And, this is the time where I'm off target therapy. I'm supposed to take my break and enjoy my break and live life. And I guess some of these other things are just mildly getting in the way. And overall, like, I'm pretty positive about everything. But when you have like somatic symptoms, it's really hard to ignore. Like how blatantly obvious it was. Like the other day, I went to work and I came home and I laid down at like 6 p.m. and I stayed in bed all the way until the next morning. That's a lot of time to spend in bed. It's a lot of time. So, yeah, that's what's going on. And wish me luck. Fingers crossed that this new therapist is good, because I've been postponing this for quite some time now, because starting over with a new therapist is just like, ugh, don't want to do it. Makes me feel like I'm starting all over again, but I gotta do it. Anyways, thanks y'all for listening, and I'll keep you guys updated as I always do.